start today's Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrutyam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiret Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki. Hare Krishna. Today we continuing chapter 6, conversation between Vyas and Narada, shloka 11 to 14. Spitan janapadan tatra
पीतांजन तदा तत्र
पुरग्राम व्रज आकरन
पुरग्राम व्रज अकरन्
खेट खरवट वाटी च
हेट खरवटवाटिः च
वनानि उपवनानि च
वनानि उपवनानि च
चित्रधातु विचित्र आदि
चित्रधा
आद्रि sorry,
विचित्र आदि
चित्रधातु विचित्र आद्रेण इब भग्न भुज द्रुमान्
इभ भग्न भुज द्रुमान्
जलाशयान् शिव जलान्
जलाशयान् शिवजलान्
नलिनीः सुरसेविताः
नलिनीः सुरसेविताः
चित्रस्वनैः पत्ररथैः
चित्रस्वनैः पत्ररथैः
विभ्रम अदभ्रम अश्रियः
विभ्रमत् भ्रमरश्रियः
नलवेणुशरतन्ब
नलवेणुः शरः तन्ब
उशकीचकगह्वरम्
कुशकीचकगह्वरम्
एक एव आतीयतः
एक एव आतीय यतः
अहम् अद्राक्षन् विपिनं महत्
अहम् अद्राक्षं विपिनं महत्
घोरं प्रतिभयाकारम्
घोरं प्रतिभयाकारं
व्याल उलुक शिव अजीरम्
व्याल उलुकः शिव आजिरम्
परिश्रांत इंद्रिय आत्मा अहम
परिश्रांत इंद्रिय आत्मा अहम्
त्रूट परितः बुभुक्षितः
त्रूटपरितः बुभुक्षितः
स्नात्वा पीत्वा हृदे नद्या
स्नात्वा पीत्वा हृदे नद्या
उपस्पृष्टः गतश्रमः
उपस्पृष्टः गतश्रमः
स्वीताञ्जनपदान् तत्र
स्वीताञ्जनपदान् तत्र
पूरग्राम व्रज अकरान्
पूरग्राम व्रज अकरान्
हेट खर्वट वाटी च
हेट खर्वटवाटिः च
वनानि उपवनानि च
वनानि उपवनानि च
चित्रधातु विचित्र आद्रेन्
चित्रधातु विचित्र आद्रीन्
इब भग्ना भुज द्रुमान्
इभ भग्नं भुजद्रुमान्
जलाशयात् न शिव जलान्
जलाशयान् शिवजलान्
नलिनीः सुरसेविताः
नलिनीः सूरसेविताः
चित्रस्वनैः पत्ररथैः
चित्रस्वनः पत्ररथः
विभ्रम अदभ्रम अश्रियः
विभ्रमत् भ्रम अश्रियः
नलवेणुशरतन्ब
नलवेणुशर तन्ब
कुशकीचकगह्वरम्
कुशकीचकगह्वरम्
एक एव अतियातः
एक एव अतियातः
अहम् अद्राक्षं विपिनं महत्
अहम् अद्राक्षं विपिनं महत्
घोरम प्रतिभय आकारम
घोरम घोरम
प्रतिभयाकार
प्रतिभयम अकारम
व्याल उलुक शिव अजिरम
व्यालो उलुक शिव अजिरम
परिश्रांत इंद्रिय आत्मा अहम
परिश्रांत इंद्रिय आत्मा अहम
त्रूट परित बुभुक्षित
त्रूट परित भ्रुभुक्षितः
स्नात्वा पीत्वा हृदय नद्या
स्नात्वा पीत्वा हृदय नद्या
उपस्पृष्ट गत श्रम.
उपस्पृष्टः गतश्रमः
प्लीज रीड.
स्फी हरे कृष्ण
हरे
स्फीतांज
कृष्ण.
स्फीतांजन स्फीतांजन पदम तत्र पुरग्राम व्रजा अकरन् खेट खर्वट वाटिः च वनानि उपवनानि च चित्रधातु विचित्रादीनि विचित्रादीन् इव भग्न भुजद्रुमान् जलाशय शिव जलान् नलिनीः सूरसेविताः चित्रस्वनय पत्ररथय बिभ्रमद भ्रमर अश्रियः नलवेणुशरः तन्ब कुशकीचकगह्वरम् एक एव अतियत अहम् अद्राक्षं विपिनं महत् घोरं प्रतिभयाकारं व्यालो व्यालो व्या
उलु
व्याललुक
शिव
व्याल
अजिरम.
उलुक शिव अजिरम परिश्रांत इंद्रिय आत्मा अहम त्रूट परितः बुभुक्षितः स्नात्वा पीत्वा हृदय नद्या उपसृष्टः गतश्रमः. Anyone else would like to read?
श्रीधर प्रभु जी प्लीज रीड.
हरे कृष्ण महाराज जी. स्पीताञ्जनपतां स तत्र पुरग्रामवृजाकरान् केडकर्वडवाडीश्च वनानि उपवनानि च चित्रधातु विचित्रातीन् इव पग्नभुजधृत्मान् जलाशयान् शिवजलान् नलिनी सूरसेविता चित्रस्वनैः पत्ररथैर्विप्रमत् परमरश्रिया नलवेणु सरस्तप्य कुशकीचक कक्वरम् एक एवादि यादो हम अत्राक्षं विपुनं महत्
अति यातक
घोरं अत्राक्षं विपीनं महत् घोरं प्रतिभयाकारं व्यालोक शिवाजिरं परिश्रान्तेन्द्रियात्माहं दृढप्रदितो बभुक्षित स्नानात्वा पीत्वा हरतो नत्या उपस्पृष्टो कदश्रम. हरे कृष्ण.
गौरंगी माता जी.
Anyone else would like to volunteer to read?
मृणमी
हरे
माता जी.
कृष्ण प्रभु जी.
Yes, Mataji, please read.
पीतांजन पदम तत्र पुरग्राम व्रज आकरन् खेट खरवट वाटीच वनानि उपनानि च चित्र धातु विचित्रादीन भग्न भुज द्रुमान जलाशयची वजलान नलिनी सुरसेविता चित्र स्वने पत्र रथे बिभ्रद विभ्रमद ब्रह्मश्रियः नल वेणु शरतन्ब कुशकीच कगवरम एक एवाति यतो अहम द्रक्षाम विपिनं महत् घोरं प्रतिभयाकारं व्योलो लुक शिव आजिरम परिक्रांते इंद्रिया आत्माहं त्रुट परितो बुभुक्षितः स्नात्वा पीत्वा हृदय नद्या उपसृष्टो
उपसृष्ट
गतश्रमः.
एनीवन कैन. गायत्री माता जी.
Mataji, shall I read Mataji?
Yes, Mataji.
Station and purpose. श्रीला प्रभुपाद जगत गुरु श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय.
Mataji wants to read. Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji, please.
ज्ञानपादं तत्र पुराग्रमव्रजकरन् एतास्त्रवता भातिश्च वन अनि उपवानि च चित्रता तु विचित्रात्रिन् दीपाभाग्ना पूज्या दुर्मान् जलसयान् शिवजलान् नलिनी सुरसेविता चित्रास्वनि सक्ररति विभ्रमर श्रिया नलवेणु सरसन्पा किक्षाकरम् एकैवति यतोऽहम् अत्र अस्सं विपिन् महत् घोरं प्रदीपय अकरं व्यालोकुशिरं प्रतिहन्ति दिरयत् अस्महं तत्परितो बहुषिता नवापिता हृदय नद्या उपपृष्टो गता स्मरा. Thank you, Mataji.
Translation and put by the Srila Prabhupada. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Please read Gayatri Mataji.
After my departure, I passed through many flourishing metropolis, towns, villages, animal farms, mines, agricultural land, valleys, flower gardens, nursery gardens, and natural forests. I passed through hills and mountains full of reservoirs of various minerals like gold, silver, and copper, and through tracts of land with reservoirs of water filled with beautiful lotus flowers fit for the denizens of heaven, decorated with bewildered bees and singing birds. I then passed alone through many forests of rushes, bamboos, Hare Krishna. Just a minute. Prabhuji, there is some on the screen, some black thing on the screen.
You read on book.
Yes. Yeah. Mataji, I have missed this thing. I passed through, then I passed alone through many forests of rushes, bamboos, reeds, sharp grass, weeds, and caves, which were very difficult to go through alone. I visited deep, dark, and dangerously fearful forests, which were the play yards of snakes, owls, and jackals. Thus traveling, I felt tired both bodily and mentally, and I was both thirsty and hungry. So I took a bath in a river, lake, and also drank water. By contacting water, I got relief from
my exhaustion.
My exhaustion. Hare Krishna. I'll read from that thing. Yeah. So man's activities in agriculture, mining, farming, industries, gardening, etc. were all on the same scale as they are now, even previous to the present creation, and the same activities will remain as they are even in the next creation. After many hundreds of millions of years, one creation is started by the law of nature, and the history of the universe repeats itself practically in the same way. The mundane wranglers waste time with archaeological excavations without searching into the vital necessities of life. After getting an impetus in spiritual life, Śrī Nārada Muni, even though a mere child, did not waste time for a single moment with economic development. Although he passed towns and villages, mines and industries, he continually went on to progressive spiritual emancipation. Srimad Bhagavatam is the repetition of history which happened some hundreds of millions of years ago. As it is said herein, only the most important factors of history are picked up to be recorded in this transcendental literature. It is the duty of a mendicant, Parivrajakacharyas, to experience all varieties of God's creation by traveling alone through all forests, hills, towns, villages, etc. To gain faith in God and strength of mind, as well as to enlighten the inhabitants with the message of God. A sannyasi is duty-bound to take all these risks without fear, and the most typical sannyasi of the present age is Lord Chaitanya, who traveled in the same manner through the central Indian jungles, enlightening even the tigers, bears, snakes, deers, elephants, and many other jungle animals. In this age of Kali, sannyasa is forbidden for ordinary men. One who changes his dress to make propaganda is a different man from the original ideal sannyasi. One should, however, take the vow to stop social intercourse completely and devote life exclusively to the service of Lord. The change of dress is only formality. Lord Chaitanya did not accept the name of sannyasi, and in this age of Kali, the so-called sannyasis should not change their former names, following in the footsteps of Lord Chaitanya. In this age, devotional service of hearing and repeating the holy glories of the Lord is strongly recommended, and one who takes the vow of renunciation of family life need not imitate the Parivrajakacharyas like Narada or Lord Chaitanya, but may sit down at some holy place and devote his whole time and energy to hear and repeatedly chant the holy scriptures left by the great acharyas like the six Goswamis of Vrindavan. A traveling mendicant can meet the needs of body, namely thirst and hunger, by the gifts of nature without being a beggar at the doors of the householders. The mendicant therefore does not go to the house of a householder to beg, but to enlighten him spiritually. Hare Krishna. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितां तां सजीवं
सहाद्वैतं सावधूतं
सावभूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्रीराधा कृष्ण
पादान्
भगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय
नमो
कृष्णपृष्ठाय
विष्णुपदाय
भूतले
कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिने
नामिने
नमस्ते
नमस्ते
सरस्वते देवे
सरस्वती देवे
गौरवाणी
गौरवाणी
प्रचारिणे
प्रचारिणे
निर्विशेष
निर्विशेष
शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा
कृपा
सिन्धुभ्यश्च
सिन्धुभ्यैव च
पतितानां
पतितानां
पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः।
नमो नमः।
जय श्री कृष्ण
श्री
चैतन्य
कृष्ण
प्रभु
चैतन्य प्रभु
नित्यानंद श्री
नित्यानंद
अद्वैत
श्री
गदाधर
अद्वैत
श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna. We continuing this chapter, shloka number 11 to 14. Prabhuji will tell which discuss in this shlokas in detail. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Being left alone, it was but natural for Naradji to feel the absence of mother, who was his only affection, and with whom, as he mentioned in the previous shloka, he was actually being bondaged. So as soon as that bondage was removed, instead of crying over the loss, Naradji demonstrates a very, very important quality for all of us to follow. What he did is he considered it as a mercy of Lord, and he went in search of further spiritual advancement. And as we have seen, as we have decided to discuss today, generally the north of India is the location where everyone in search of Lord goes through. And why is something which get described in the shlokas which we are talking today. how the land was completely full of agriculture, valleys, flower gardens, nursery gardens, natural forests. And in such natural beauty, scenic association, the need, the necessity for a peace of mind gets emphasized further. And though he passed through the flourishing metropolises, towns, villages, he didn't get disturbed. Janapadan. So Janapadan is a city. So Janapadan, Pura, Grama, so towns, villages, cities. So he was not disturbed by that. And he continues his journey further. He went through hills and mountains. And he describes a very important aspect here, that the mountains were full of minerals like gold, silver, and copper. And anyone would like to be immediately attached to it. But he didn't stop. He passed through the tracts of land with reservoirs of water, and they were filled with lotus flowers. And such was the beauty of the lotus flowers that he says that they were fit for denizens of the heaven. And then he could also see that the were decorated with bewildered bees, and there were singing birds along. He also encountered forests of rushes, bamboo, reeds, sharp grass, weeds. He also went through some caves where ideally no one should go alone. But then he was not materially attached to the body, so was not afraid of anything related to the body. So he went through alone. He visited deep, dark, dangerously fearful forests. Why dangerously fearful? Because there they could see snakes, owls, jackals. And he kept on in the chariot. But since he was traveling alone, he got tired, mentally as well as bodily. He was also thirsty and hungry. So what he did is he took a bath in river, lake, and drank water. And he clearly mentions that by contact of the water, he got relief from exhaustion. See the descriptions which are there coming, and practical aspects for us to understand as well. So, whether it is mining, whether it is farming, whether it is uh, industries, gardening, nurseries, these were the activities which used to happen even in those days. So, it's not something new. And same will be the activities which will continue in future also, because they are the activities which are actually being recommended. So when there is a pralay and a new creation comes up, then by the law of the nature, the same things are coming up. So every day, every kalpa, it's a repetition of the history, practically in the same way, with very little changes. But unfortunately, what we see is today, everyone is trying to find out what happened in the past. They're doing PhDs in history. They're doing archaeological excavations, trying to find out what happened so many years ago. While the actual time should be utilized for Atto Brahma Jigyasa. Because that kind of a physical material history is not the vital necessity of life. The vital necessity of life is, how do I use this birth, which is Bahunam Janmanam Ante? Because wasting this for economic development is not necessary. What is important is trying to realize our own identity, realize Krishna, realize our relationship with Krishna, and realize how to get out of this material entanglement. And Narad Muniji gives us the practical example of how he actually achieved it. So the moment he got initiated, there were changes in him. And the moment his bondage got removed, there was an impetus in spiritual life. So though he was just a child, he did not waste any time. He passed through towns, villages, mines, industries. He could have stopped by and started earning. But he didn't think it suitable enough. He continuously went on for spiritual realizations. And we'll see that this Bhagavatam is documenting this history of what happened hundreds of millions of years ago. But then only the important aspects of history are recorded here. And again, we may at times find that it is not chronological. It is not matching 20 after 21, then 22. Because this is a history of many, many kalpas. And that is why you will find that there is a overcoming, which at times happens. So he kept on walking like a Parivrajakacharyas, like a medicament. Because it is the duty that they experience all varieties of Krishna's creation by traveling. They're not supposed to be sitting at one place. They have got the strength of the mind. They have to gain the faith in the God. And then also enlighten the inhabitants with the message of God. So a sannyasi is duty bound to take these risks of traveling. And we have seen Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who traveled to South India and then came back. And he enlightened everyone, even the animals. So we see that tiger and deer dancing together along with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the Sankirtana. But then in Kali Yuga, sannyasa is forbidden for ordinary persons. See, sannyasa does not mean taking up the bhagava. No. It has to be actual footsteps. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, after taking sannyas diksha, did not change name. And that is why Prabhupada ji recommends that even we should not think about it. We should but continue traveling to spread the message of the Lord without thinking of ourselves. Never go to a householder's life to beg, but to actually enlighten them. And Chaitanya, even Prabhupada ji did the same thing when he traveled to the West and created happies out of hippies by following the instructions of his spiritual master to establish what Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had predicted, that every village, every street, there will be Sankirtana of the Lord's names. So we have to follow their footsteps. That is what we have to learn from these shlokas. Not be worried. Be happy. Chant Hare Krishna. Hari Bol.